Alright, what's going on, everybody? My name is Nikita Nazarov, and we're just gonna start off with a big trade that we're about to make. We got Evgeny Malkin to waive for the Montreal Canadiens. Two other teams he waived for was Chicago and Toronto, but I want Michael Hage. He's gonna be an insane center prospect for us in the future, center playmaker. You know, we're gonna retain 50% on Malkin. Montreal wants him. They're a buyer. They're currently, I believe, at least fighting for a playoff spot, if not in a playoff position. Look at our record. He is almost a point per game player on a very bad Penguins team, only a -9, and he's still doing the job defensively. He's 54% in the face-off circle. Like, what more can you ask for? And I feel like one for one, it's fair. We're also, like I said, retaining 50% on this deal, and we'll see if this trade goes through. It will. I'm happy to accept this proposal on behalf of the Montreal Canadiens, and we consider it a done deal. But what's going on, everybody? One more time. This is the gaming channel for all gaming fans to be in. Gaming with Nikitos, and we just completed a blockbuster trade. Evgeny Malkin is gone, and he's going over to the Montreal Canadiens to hopefully help them win their first Stanley Cup for the first time since 1993, and to win his fourth cup in his playing hockey career. And we'll see if they're able to keep him past this year. If they can, that's a huge win because they can still compete with him for another year, and he's still got elite potential. So even if he drops the top six potential during the offseason, he's still going to be anywhere between 84 to 86 overall by next year's playoffs. So we'll see if Montreal is willing to retain him, but it's a done deal, baby. All right, an insane trade I just completed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You guys already see Matthew Knies on the screen, but basically the trade involved Matthew Knies, a 2028 first-round draft pick from Toronto, Easton Cowan, and Simon Benoit in exchange for Sidney Crosby. 2 years left at $8.7 million. I traded them Connor Clifton, and I added 3 draft picks. A 4th-round pick for the upcoming draft, which belongs to Colorado. A 5th-round draft pick for next year's draft that belongs to Calgary. And the 7th-round draft pick that belongs to Seattle for the same draft as Calgary's pick as well. So an absolute blockbuster trade, and I'm very happy with it. The third guy just ended up leaving the Pittsburgh Penguins organization. The big three are finally gone. Eric Carlson is going to have to wait a little bit because right now he doesn't want to go anywhere, but Chris Letang, baby, he's gone. He's going to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Alexander Carrier, who hasn't been playing this year at all for Montreal. He's got 2 years left at $3.75 million, is 85 overall. Letang's got 3 years left at $6.1 million, but he's 86 overall with multiple X factors. We also gave up Philly's 3rd-round draft pick for 2027, and we know Philly is not going to be a great team, so that's like a high-end 3rd-round draft pick for Montreal. And you also get a 7th-round draft pick that belongs to Nashville, and we know Nashville's pick is going to be more like a 6th. So if you think about it, we basically gave up Chris Letang, a 2nd and a 6th for Carey. I think that's fair for a guy that hasn't even played a single game this year for Montreal. Here I am going to trade Tommy Novak to the Utah Mammoth for a 2nd and a 3rd-round draft pick. Let's go. The extensions I did as well, because some guys did accept their extensions. So first guy was Connor Dewar. We gave him 2 years of 1.7 million. Hopefully, he has some growth during this offseason. Fabry has been really solid for us. I gave him 3 years of 1.65. He's still 29, so we'll see where he fits in. Danton Heinen, somebody I still want to bring back. Just depends how much he wants. I actually already offered him a contract, but now he actually wants some money on that contract. I could give him like a clause, uh, something like that, where we go like 12 teams and we bring down this cap hit because he's actually been really solid for us, but it does not look like we're going to be able to bring it down that much. Um, so yeah, I might just hold off on Danton Heinen. He's having a good year, but I don't know, paying him. I mean, it's okay paying that money to our third liner, but we'll see. I mean, just depends. Like I can still give him what I can give him 2 mil. I guess it's not that bad. Try 2 years, 2 mil with like a clause in there. Like I said, let's do that, and then let's crank it up to that. Maybe no, 50% is not gonna work. Um, 2.1. Yeah, 2.1 should probably do it. But just to be sure, I think 2.15 is gonna push it through. But that's not a bad contract for Danton Heinen, so we'll take that. He still gets a lower cap hit after next year, so it's not that bad. I was just hoping for a bit of a better discount, but we'll see. Ryan Graves, we'll see how long he sticks around. Anyways, that's another guy that's trade bait right now. And then, yeah, these goalies, we'll see after the year ends. We'll see where they're at, and we'll figure out who we're going to keep, who we're not. So let's just keep on going with the simulation. And here we are. Denton Heinen accepted our extension. So there we go. Picked up Liam O'Brien off of waivers. Utah tried to send him down, but he could be a fourth liner for this year, next year. He's got a $1 million cap hit for 2 years. Looks like he really hasn't played much minutes for Utah, so we'll get an upgrade on our fourth line. I have to take this trade from the Nashville Predators. Connor Duar's been doing better for me lately. In his last 10 games, he's got like 4 points. He's a +3, but dude, a second and a third, and also Degle going to Nashville. He's 63 overall, 19 years of age, a medium starter. Like, he's doing good in the OHL right now, but he's not going to get to the level of a third round pick I could potentially get. So I'm basically getting a second for Duer and a third for Degle. It's actually a really solid trade, so I'm going to take that. Alright, so I ended up making a trade with the LA Kings. I ended up getting rid of Ryan Graves in his contract. 4.5 years or $4.5 million cap hit for another 4 years. He was down to 78 overall, so he was unhappy. He was injured though, so it's not because he was scratched or whatever. He was having actually a relatively, I would say, okay season for me. You know, the AI in this case, ChatGPT seems to disagree with me, but that's besides the point. I mean, he in 53 games had 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points, playing just under 60 minutes, had 35 giveaways, 20 takeaways, over 50 block shots, over 60 hits. So it wasn't that bad. Like his underlying numbers were actually solid in my opinion. Um, yeah, he's overpaid, but LA is already known as a team that likes to overpay their defensemen. So honestly, I'll take that. We just made a trade with Tampa as well. I forgot to bring it up, but they got Parker Witherspoon. He was up to a 79 overall. I think he's usually like 77 in game. I traded my fourth round pick for next year's draft. I got back a third round pick for that same draft, and then I got a fifth rounder for this year as well. And now I'm gonna pick up this defenseman from them. Hopefully, once he clears through waivers, I'm gonna be able to get him on my team. Because I actually do need some depth defensemen. I'm missing a few. Maybe this guy as well will pick up. Because he actually looks pretty solid. DFD. This guy would probably keep at the NHL level for the rest of the year in case of injuries, and then yeah, the rest of the guys we're just gonna have to figure out. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna send this guy down. He clears, which is perfect. And I think I actually saw him play against the Panthers the other night. I went to a game. Let me see. He's not gonna play anywhere right now, but at least he's gonna be depth back there, so that's good. I could try him instead of St. Ivany. I just want to see what overall he is, if he's even going to play better than St. Ivany. So once I find out a little bit about him, I guess we'll kind of go from there, and then uh, we'll kind of switch it around. But that second pairing, I'm definitely going to keep the same because I don't know why, but Kemp just does well with uh, Alexeyev, and then from there we'll just see what happens next. We're also going to trade Alex Alexeyev here to the Anaheim Ducks. He's on an expiring contract. They want to give me a sixth, which is actually not that bad. For a guy that's probably going to demand he's actually already demanding a one-way contract anyway, so might as well get back something for him. So yeah, we'll take that trade because we already just picked up a defenseman as well off of waivers from LA as well. This guy right here, I think you guys saw it as well, Maverer, Jacob Mauverin. Maybe he's a Quebecer, I'm not sure, but no, he's actually Swedish. Never mind. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and actually, it's not gonna be him that's gonna be in the lineup. It's gonna be another guy. Let me just go edit the AHL lines. Probably what's gonna happen is St. Ivany is gonna go back here. Crozier is gonna end up playing with Kemp on that second pair. So let's do this. Because England and St. Ivany have actually been really solid together. And then that other guy is going to get an opportunity to still play regardless. And then we'll see how he does. He actually fits perfectly on a second pair as well. So, ooh, Tolvanen for Kindell and a second. It's kind of a little bit expensive, but it depends what Tolvanen is all about. I mean, he's 84. Yeah, it is kind of expensive for a guy that's almost done growing. I'm good. It's an interesting trade though, but nah, I'm good. Thanks though. A third and a fourth for Michelli. I mean, it's kind of too early to tell. I don't know if I should even trade Michelli yet. Second and the fifth. I don't want to trade Pickering. I want to see how he plays first before I make any sort of moves with him. And then, yeah, Arthur Shilovs. Did he already play a game? Because his record is uneven. I mean, he just got that one. Okay, yeah, it's... Alright. I'm going to send over this defenseman to Philly. He's medium top 6 potential at 20, 66 overall. Fourth round draft pick actually for him is pretty solid. He's not even playing for me anyway, so I think it's a solid deal. We can always have more depth in the AHL if we... Like, I can always acquire more depth, I mean, if I need to. But yeah, I think that was a solid trade. I'm just trying to see what some of these guys are worth right now anyways. He's worth a fifth, Craig Smith. I mean, it's not bad. This is more than... This is more... Or this would be like something that I would get, you know, for him. This is more than I would get for him if I was to trade him at the draft, so that's actually not bad. A lot of teams are buying right now, so it makes sense. Like, Coino's got to be worth some, right? Only a fifth, that's kind of sad. 76 to 22. It just depends. I don't think he's ever going to get there to the NHL level. He could be a solid AHLer, though. So far, he's been that. I was just wondering if, like, somebody like Ron, he can fetch a third. I mean, it's actually not bad. For a third, I think I got to do it. Probably trade him to the Kings for a third. You might just have to go for that, right? Because it's actually really good. Like, he's a depth guy. He's not even like that incredible at the AHL level anyways. Dude probably like If Fabry, yeah, like, bro, Fabry's fetching nothing, bro. So you gotta take that for Vrana for sure. So I'm definitely gonna take that trade. Matt Nieto, a fourth is not bad. I would definitely minimum ask for a fourth. Like, it depends what, if Heinen, yeah, Heinen's worth a third. I mean, it makes sense because one is at the HL, one is at the NHL. But yeah, like Vrana is somebody you gotta take a trade on. Let's see. I'm gonna trade Benoit here to the Oilers for a second and a third. He actually got solid value as a top six defenseman. He's got a pretty decent contract, so maybe that's why his value is slightly inflated. I could maybe try to hold on to him until next year, but the problem is that I don't think I'll have space for him next year. As of right now, I have Luneau, Pickering, and Brunik, who are all probably going to be at the NHL level next year. So that's already three defensemen. He would become the number 7D right now, you know. So I think that it makes sense for him to trade for that kind of value because he's only going to have 1 year left. I'm not even sure if his value is going to be that high next year anyways. I'm actually surprised that it's like that high to begin with. I would expect for a top 6D to have less value. Like, I can just compare with one of their defensemen and just see if it's slightly inflated or not. But like, he has the same value of a Brett Kulak, who's 2 overall better, and he's on an expiring contract. So like, you definitely, I think, gotta pull the trigger on something like this because I don't know if he's gonna have that kind of value next year. It's probably because he's got a solid contract. That's probably what's helping out right now, anyways. And there's another trade I'm considering as well right now with Rasmus Anderson. I know I just locked him up, but there's a really solid trade there that I think I might just want to pull off. We're just gonna have to wait and see though. But yeah, a second and a third, you have to take this, I think. So I'm gonna take it. We're about to make a blockbuster trade. So Rasmus Anderson is going to be heading over to the Utah Mammoth for Caleb Denoyer. Now, I don't know his overall yet. I don't know his potential. I'll find that out pretty soon. All I know is that he's medium elite center playmaker who was drafted 4th overall by Utah in last year's draft. And Rasmus Anderson becomes their second best defenseman on that blue line. We gave him out an extension for 6 years at 6.7 million. He's got only a 4-team no trade list, so it's actually a very tradable contract if they ever want to go down that road of trading it. And Utah obviously checks out as one of the teams that he wants to go to. He's only making 4.55 this year, so if they want to acquire somebody else, they can still do it. Because as you see, they would still have almost $6 million left in cap space to acquire. We're almost at the deadline, as you guys see on the top right hand corner. We're on March 1st of 2026. So this is a really, really solid trade for both sides. I'm actually surprised that I was able to find a trade of this quality for Rasmus Anderson. But hey, that's why you scour the market. That's why you do your best as a GM. You know, you make sure you look at all of the options you have. And this is one of the guys that has trade value on my team. I think he's got the most trade value, in fact, on my team. So this makes all the sense in the world to trade him. I just thought I was going to be a better team with Crosby and Malkin, but since things really weren't going anywhere and we weren't really that good of a team, it makes sense that I just unload him now while at it, and we'll see what happens. So Utah says yes. I doubt anybody would think Utah came out on the short end of the stick with this trade, so it's a done deal. Jacob Vrana here to the LA Kings for their 3rd-round draft pick that belongs to Dallas for this draft. So we're here at March 1st, 2026. We've already made a bunch of trades. I don't even know how many more trades I can even do at this point. I've been looking over to see how much some of these guys are worth, and I think what I've gotten so far for these players, I think, is really solid. Like you guys see at the bottom, these are literally all the trades that we've been making so far. So Yeah, I've been definitely active on that front. A fourth round draft pick definitely for medium six D man. That is, a project right now. I think is a very solid deal. It's Ottawa's fourth round pick. I know they're competitive right now, but you just never know with that fourth round pick. So I might as well take a chance on that. Might end up being a better defenseman we draft anyways. However, I want to have a look at the stats with you guys. First of all, I also want to see how um, the Habs are doing. So they've evened out the record at 20, 28, and 3. I remember they were below 500 at some point. So they're still not doing fantastic with Malkin and Letang. However, the Leafs, they've really taken off. They're first in their division right now. Crosby's on that first line with Matthews and Nylander. They're clicking in all cylinders. As you guys see, for point leaders, Crosby is eighth in scoring. Matthews is fifth. So yeah, that whole line is just is going crazy so far. We're meanwhile by far the worst team in the NHL, so that's good. We have the best odds right now of winning the draft lottery. So you love to see that. Hopefully we land Gavin McKenna. That would be huge. We'll take a look at these point totals though, like I said, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So we'll start off from the back. Samsonov, he's had an okay year on the team that we've put together, I will say. It's not bad. He's got an 8-16 record, which is ugly, but an 884 on the team like that is actually not that bad. Arthur Shilovs, though, hasn't had the best year, I will say. He's got the worst goals against of any of these goalies. Martin Jones, he's been good for us whenever he's come into net recently, but before that, he was kind of struggling. Defensively, man, we only got like Eric Carlson and Alexander Carrier is like NHL level defenseman. Matt Dumba ideally should be a scratch defenseman, but just because of how bad this decor is, uh, Carey and Carlos are going to have to carry the load here. Right wingers, Holtz has got 30 points in the year, which is solid. I'm going to have a look and see how much I can get for Brazeau, but last time I checked, I wasn't getting much, so I might as well keep him through the year, see if he's going to grow in the offseason, and then deal him at some point. Robertson, he may not have the flashy point totals and all that stuff, but if you look at his takeaway giveaway ratio, it's actually really good. He hits quite a bit as well. Thomasine was actually a plus player on the team like this on the fourth line, so I'll take that. Matt Nye has actually been doing solid for us. He's neutral for giveaway takeaway, but he's got 16 points in 20 games. That's actually solid playing with literally Domi and Holt. So that tells me that's a pretty solid line. Domi himself has had a decent year so far. Michelli could be doing better. Um, I don't know if he's been doing better without Malkin. That would be kind of weird, but maybe. Heine's got 21 points, also a solid guy. Fabry has been really solid for us this year. O'Brien as well, surprisingly, has been a decent fit on our fourth line. He's been taking faceoffs for us. He's not great in the faceoff circle, but he's got good takeaway giveaway ratio right now. Zach Aston Reese has actually surprisingly been solid for us in 5 games that he's played. So um, we'll continue to monitor his progress. And then Athanasiou, he's been filling in on the second line. He's doing okay. He's got 4 points in 20 games, which is not great. I've seen better point totals from a 78 overall. But like I said, I think he's definitely below average, I would say. But I think his defensive numbers is what makes up for it. He's actually average right now. And usually in the AHL, he's right just above average. So that's actually not that bad if you look at it on the surface level. And then Derek Ryan is there for us. He's played 9 games for us in the entirety of this year. I'll show you guys how Crosby has been doing though. 71 points in total, but 25 to 8 is his takeaway giveaway ratio. 29 points in 21 games for a Toronto team. Not surprising that he's putting up those kind of totals. And then Clifton, he was providing a steady D. I don't know. He's not really. He's been kind of struggling in Toronto. -9, only 3 points, and he's been worse defensively. So, uh, the fact that we got then Benoit for him essentially, and we we basically got a second and a third if you think about it for Connor Clifton. That is also listed as top 6D, but he's not even doing that well for Toronto. So honestly, I think either way, this is a win-win. Um, well, at least it's a win for me. It's more of an L for Toronto, but they did get Crosby, so they're fine. Montreal, though, they've definitely taken the L so far. If you look at Letang, for example, we can have a look, but he's not doing too well right now, anyways. Um, but if we have a look at his point totals right now, yeah, he's actually not that bad defensively, I will say. I'll give him credit, but he's just not good offensively. I know he's not really getting the minutes, but still, you expect more out of a Chris Letang at this point. And then Evgeny Malkin, I mean, you expect a little bit more production offensively, I will say, at least point per game. At least he's good defensively for them, but again, that's not enough. This team needs more scoring. I just don't know why they're not simming well in this game. But again, their lines are kind of messed up as well. Um, they have Malkin playing on the first line with Suzuki, and I don't like. I can show you guys the lineup that they have. Maybe it's changed now. Now that he spent some time there, maybe our scouting isn't always. Yeah, but I mean they got Suzuki, Malkin, Caulfield right now on the same line. So yeah, no. Suzuki, yeah, he's been playing the whole year on the first line. Malkin, just to confirm, yeah, he's been playing on the first line. So these lines are actually accurate. I just know in games past it wasn't always accurate, but Slavkovsky was playing on the first line until he got sent down to that second line. Jake Evans, Demidov, then Line A with Doc and Gallagher, and then Bolduc with Valeno and Anderson. So these especially Anderson was probably playing on the third line. So Line A moved down, Anderson moved down the spot. Slav moved down because of that Malkin acquisition, and then now they have Struble scratched. Newhook has been scratched, and he's an 80 overall now for them, so not good news for them there. At least Semi Blay is a depth player, so that's whatever. But look at Montable's numbers, though. They're not simming well for some reason. I don't know why. They're actually a very deep team, one of the best teams in the Atlantic, but here we are. They're only fifth right now in the Atlantic, and they are 6 points behind the playoff spot. So they're not doing too good, like I said. And then we'll track and monitor Utah as well, because I'm curious to see where they're going to end up at the end of the year. Because right now they're second in the division. Um, we obviously just made the trade with them, so they haven't played a single game just yet. With Anderson in the lineup, we'll see where they finish by the end of the year. But yeah, so far, that's where we're at. We're going to sum up right to the deadline. We're going to see what kind of trades go down, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and do our due diligence here on screen. I'm going to make sure to see if there's maybe any potential trades I can make a day before the trade deadline officially kicks off. And even if we do have to make a trade on the trade deadline day, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Just want to make sure that there's nothing out here that I'm necessarily missing out on, and just maybe some young guys that we can pick up for the future that can help us in the long run. So far, it doesn't look like there's much of anything on the block. Most of these teams are just getting rid of players that serve them their purpose in the current moment, but doesn't mean that they necessarily want to compete with these players. Like for Philly, for example, I've seen Konechny, I think, on the block for a month and a half now, and it's probably because Philly really hasn't done that well in game as well. I would assume that's the only reason they're shopping him. Usually, I don't see him being shopped around like that, but in this case, unless Philly is not doing too well, then I can see why they would dangle his name out there, just to see what they can get back in return, of course. But as I'm looking through the trading block right now, there's nothing out there that's really inspiring me to make a move one way or another. So this might be a quiet deadline after all. Some of these guys are good pickups for, like a cup run or something like that, but really right now we're not poised to go on any kind of cup run. We are basically guaranteed to miss the playoffs at this point, even though technically we might be mathematically alive. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna do my due diligence, go into the trade deadline, see if anybody is interested in any of the pieces I currently have on the trading block. So far, I only got two guys out there that I could potentially dangle. There's not really anybody else I could throw in there. I like the way Carey is playing. I think I want to hold on to him. Maybe Michelli is another guy I could see what I can get for. He's had a decent year, but you just never know. Maybe if there's something decent that we can get in return. A guy like Robbie Fabry as well. I could throw in there just to see. And then, yeah, Denton Heinen, why not, you know? And then, yeah, all of that, we're just going to keep the same. So, yeah, I think we're ready to just get into the deadline. All right, here we go. We're ready to head into the 2026 NHL trade deadline. I've already done all my due diligence. We're just going to keep the current trading block. We're going to enter the trade deadline, and we're going to see if anything has changed. Looks like Zach Benson is now available for Buffalo. He's on a 1-year contract. High top six potential left winger. I had him going back to I think this year's game, but in another franchise mode with the Sabres. I'm just curious to see what he's like. I mean, he's definitely not 87 overall, but definitely looks to be like a solid player. Kesselring is also there as well. Could be a solid pickup that we could acquire. Just depends. But yeah, I mean, I'm just curious to see what Buffalo wants in return for a couple of these guys, because they're actually quite interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to trying and seeing what I can do here. So, can I even find a trade through this screen? Yes, I can. Okay, let's see. All right, so Easton Cowan, a second, and Michelli. Well, that's not bad. 2 seconds and Michelli. That's also not that bad. Um, for Zach Benson, what kind of year is he having anyway? So let's see. Michelli, he's what, a playmaker, right? And Benson is a playmaker as well. Perfect. He's only got 21 points this year on a Buffalo team, a -5. He's not really been playing that much. Meanwhile, Michelli in 2 seconds. Second and third for Pickering and Fabry. No, I'm good. Thank you, the Leafs. But yeah, I think we're going to sit through this deadline just like a real GM would, just to see what kind of options we got. Because Michelli, he's had a decent year for us. But, I mean, if I can acquire somebody like Zach Benson for him, I would do it. Let's see if they maybe want somebody like... They don't want Max Domi. Alright, I was maybe hoping they would want him. They want Justin Brazeau, so I could make it work with Brazeau instead. And then for next year, who's going to be your playmaker on that top line? Let's see, Domi, nice. A sniper. I mean, they could be both two playmakers on two different lines. I wouldn't mind it. Buffalo would be over the league salary cap for next year. Okay, interesting. But with Michelli, they're not. So that means I would have to take somebody back that has an extra year on their contract. Interesting. Tuck just signed for 9.69 for 5 years. Pretty heavy contract. Jack Quinn, looks like they want to get rid of as well. What is he in this game? He's a playmaker. How much is he shooting as a playmaker? Because I could flip for him. He's also pretty solid, kind of like another Michelli. How much does he shoot? 94 shots. It's not that much. How much time on ice? Could be like a pretty solid playmaker. Carrier for second and the third. Not really what I'm looking for if I was going to trade Carrier. But yeah, no, I definitely want Zach Benson, I think, in this trade. Alright, there was one guy I was heavily interested in from Buffalo. Was Kesselring. He's no longer available. Looks like he got picked up. Let me see who he got picked up by. Let's see. Was it? Oh, Toronto. Wow. And Zach Jones for a second, Niamala in the third. Okay. Jared Spurgeon goes to Chicago with a fourth for Mikheyev, Ruda in the third. That's actually a solid trade for Minnesota. And in Minnesota, it gets Alexiak and Noachari from Seattle for a second and a fifth. I mean, that's okay. It's not too bad. I'm just wondering why. I mean, it doesn't look like they're selling. It looks like they're just kind of retooling on the fly, which is interesting. Anaheim acquires Hampus Lindholm, so he's going back to Anaheim for Troy Terry, a third and 2 seconds. Wow. Or two others. That's a significant trade. Eli Tolvanen goes back to Winnipeg. I think he was originally from Winnipeg, wasn't he? For Barlow and two-thirds. Garnet Hathaway goes back to Washington for a second. Allen and Bjorklund. It's quite a bit to pay, I'm not going to lie. Utah gets Paling and Calvin DeHaan for Seneca and Zuber. Um, Probably a decent trade for Utah, I would say. I don't know about those guys too much, so I assume they're not that fantastic. Nathan Walker in the third go to the Rangers for Emery, a seventh. I wouldn't have given up on Emery for Nathan Walker in the third. That's just not worth it. Vancouver gets Gustafsson, Van Riemsdyk in the third for their goalie prospect Medvedev, a third and a fourth. I I don't know about that one for both teams because Detroit already has goaltending prospects. I don't know why they would need more, but I guess they're trying to stack up on prospects and whatnot. So that's them. But yeah, so far the only trade offers I've received, um, it wasn't even for Domi. I'm trying to remember what were the names that some of the teams wanted. I know Carrier has been very popular so far, but the most teams are willing to pay right now is like a second and a third. But I'm not gonna budge, you know. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. And wow, Anaheim trades for Hampus Lindholm just to put him back on the block. EA Sports. It's in the game. Alright, now that we're past the trade deadline, let's go ahead and finish off the rest of the regular season here with the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's not really much left to do. We didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, as you guys know, so the only thing that's left to do is just take it all the way until the end of the year and just hope that we land ourselves the best possible mathematical odds to land Gavin McKenna. We get a 3-0 win there against Philly, however, so that doesn't improve our odds. But, you know, whatever happens, happens. You know, I'm prepared for any sort of reality here against the Boston Bruins and Jonas Korpisalo. 5-2 loss, there you go. That's a good loss. As long as some of our top guys and some of our younger players are producing and they're putting the puck in the back of the net. That's all that matters. Even if the team is not fully there, it is what it is. So yeah, that's 2 losses right there for Ilya Samsonov. We're gonna take him out. Put in, I guess, Martin Jones, right? Because Shilov's already went. And actually, no, it should be Shilov's next, but that's alright. So we're gonna let Shilov's go next. And then the AHL team will check out right after this game. So 6-5 win against Vegas. We scored some goals. All right, so our AHL team, we're gonna track Reimer carefully here because he's on the leash of 2 losses. So 3-2 OT win, and up against the Phantoms here, the first half of a back-to-back 6-1 win. Let's go, back-to-back wins. All right, another game against the Phantoms. This time in where was it? I don't know where the Phantoms are playing. Let me check. Uh, let's see. Would it even tell me? Um, I would have to remember through the standings. Let me just see. They are Lehigh Valley. Okay, okay, okay. I got it. All right. So, not too bad, not too shabby. 38 points. That's their leading goal point getter. Really? Okay, that's kind of interesting. All right, so that's one loss there for James Reimer. 5-3 win against Utah. Okay, Arthur Shilas, I see what you're doing there, bud. Against Colorado, who are a really solid team. 7-4 loss. Okay, I mean, at least we scored some goals, eh? We're staying semi-competitive, I would say, past the trade deadline. We are 3-7 in our last 10, which is good. So we're still on pace to have a good draft pick, but we'll see. Up against Carolina and Anderson, they were on a heater, and we beat them 2-1 in regulation. We're ruining their playoff odds with that win. And that's a 3-1 win against the Rocket there. Let's go. 913 save percentage for James Reimer up against the Belleville Senators. 3-2 OT win. Okay. All right, another game for Shelops. We'll see how he does, and then depending on what happens, he is in or he's out. He's out. Okay. Yeah, that was a tough loss there against Winnipeg. Uh, although, why does he have 19 losses? That's what I don't understand. He lost only 2. So it should be, if anything, 9 wins. Okay, I'll give him another game just to kind of even out that number. But yeah, James Reimer, he's still good to go for one more as well. Let's see. Nicholas Robertson, he's out with a sore knee. Oof. Alright, we'll just replace the player. 4-2 win against the Marlies there. 4-2 win against the Hurricanes. Let's go. Alright, he bounces back on the second half of a back-to-back against Colorado one more time. 4-1 loss. Alright, well, we gave it our all. I think he's got to be out this time. Because that's just too much right there. Alright, Martin Jones, you go in. I don't know why, it's just uneven, but whatever. But yeah, let's keep her going. So, up against the Ottawa Senators here. Let's see what we got. 6-5 OT loss. Alright, Martin Jones. Against the Dallas Stars. Let's see. We're tracking Reimer still down there in the AHL. It's a 5-3 win, okay. Up against Lehigh Valley. 2-1 win. There you go, man. He just keeps winning games for us. 5-1 loss there for against Dallas. All right. One more game. One more loss, I should say. Yeah, he's out. It wasn't a horrible loss, but yeah, he's definitely gonna get out of there, and we gotta put some Sonov back in there now. One more day of sim until we. I'm not gonna check the stats. There's no point. 6-3 win against Detroit. We're 4-5-1 in our last 10, so we're actually doing better than we were doing before the trade deadline, I will say. Our power play is 7th in the NHL, so go figure. But the main thing for us right now is, yeah, we're 10 points behind Chicago, so yeah, we're definitely going to be dead last in the NHL, so that's good. We're going to land ourselves the best odds of landing McKenna. McKenna would be so huge for this team, man. You guys don't understand. I'm sure Penguins fans understand, but it would be an absolute, it would be absolutely huge. So let's see. I don't know if there's any point of trying to fit Adobe on that first line. I'm not even sure. I think I just let these guys play out the rest of the year. I don't know if there's any point of even doing the chemistries. I mean, Carrier as well. Like, if anything, I might prefer him on that second pair instead. So. Yeah, Nick Robertson's up to an 83, actually. He grew. Okay, that's good. But yeah, we're going to hold him out until he's fully ready to go. Not going to risk an injury with him. How has Derek Ryan done? -3, 2 points. I mean, on a really bad Penguins team, I can't blame him. So, the AHL team is probably the only team I'm going to do for lines, and from there we'll just see. But I'm quite surprised that our young guns really haven't had that many points in the year. I'm just kind of blown away by it. Yeah, that's really interesting. Let me see. So Denisenko, let me just do power video editing for this though. All right, here we go. The regular season just came to an end. We're gonna go ahead and have a look at these team standings and stuff like that. I did not press on edit lines, but yeah, let's go ahead and look at the overall team stats for everybody. See who finished where, our individual stats as well for the teams. So the Oilers won the President's Trophy. Toronto ranks second in the NHL. The third are the Rangers, then Ottawa, Colorado. Looks like Colorado won their division at least, so that's semi-realistic for real life. Vegas, Winnipeg, Utah, Seattle, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Carolina, LA. All made it. Minnesota, Vancouver, St. Louis miss. Okay. Florida makes it. New Jersey makes it. Okay. Columbus makes it. All right, I can see it as well. Montreal missing though. That's kind of crazy. Washington, Winnipeg at least, or Anaheim in real life at least missing is would be a little bit absurd. But I mean, if they end up like run that record by the end of the year, I also wouldn't be surprised. But I think they're expected this year to at least take the next step forward, which means end up as a wildcard team. We ended up all the way at the bottom, so we have the best odds of winning the first overall pick. We'll see how that goes for us. Our goals for third last in the NHL. Our goals against literally last in the NHL. Our power play is actually pretty solid. Like this is I think 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're literally a top 10 power play in the NHL, tied for ninth best. Um, did we take a lot of penalties? No, we were pretty disciplined, yeah. Our penalty kill percentage though just wasn't great. It was literally third last, so that's the issue. We were a lot better on the road than we were at home, that's for sure. We were awful at home. Only 11 wins in 41 games. 8 shorthanded goals. Oh, wow. We actually scored some shorthanded goals, guys. Wow, that's actually nice. Um, let's see. Do we allow a lot of shorties? Yeah. I mean, not a lot, but like definitely enough. Uh, Power play goals against, I mean, that doesn't matter. So yeah, a tough year, but we had some guys like Matthew Nyes who had really good years um, offensively. So I'm happy for him. He still ended up being a +9. He had 40 points with us in 44 games, considering he went from Toronto to a Pittsburgh team, put up those numbers. Absolute stud. -17. He played a lot for us, but I mean, look at those numbers. Yeah, he's definitely a keeper, and hopefully he grows for us next year. Hopefully I can sign some guys to help him out. Max Domi, 64 points. Solid year. I hope he gets some stat growth in the offseason. So that way, I can either trade him or maybe keep him. We'll see. Holtz, hopefully he grows. He had a solid year on the bad team. Michelli still had a solid year, despite me wanting to shop him around and whatnot. He had 12 points after the deadline. He actually had a very good end to the year. He was very good defensively. I think this guy's a keeper. Denton Heinen actually had a really good year for us, which is good. Yeah, because we extended him past the season, so that's good. I think I had to pay him more than I had to initially, because initially he was going to be cheaper, but I couldn't get him at a cheaper price. So it is what it is. Defensively, Erik Karlsson, 74 points. Very solid. Alexander Carey with 16. In net, you had Ilya Samsonov, 894 save percentage with a 3.45 goals against in 33 games played. Not an awful year. Honestly, on a team like that, he actually had decent numbers, I would say. Shilovs was mid. Martin Jones was okay. Like Samsonov probably has like a 907 if he's on a better team. Martin Jones is probably like a 900 goalie, and then Shilovs definitely had a disappointing year, I will say. Like 895 basically on a winning team. Like he's just not good enough. As a high starter, I'm really hoping for better numbers. I know the defense left them out for dry, but like, come on, bro, it's just still not good enough. I expected better, but in terms of goalies now, the amount of shots that just these goalies allowed, okay? Like I'm just gonna compare it with my goalies. I'm gonna count all the shots and how much shots we allowed the whole year. I could even average it out over a 82 game schedule. I'm just gonna average it out. We'll see how much shots we allow, because that's gonna tell me as well if our defense was truly that bad. So let's see. I'm gonna add those three numbers up divided by 82. I mean, we only allowed on average 20 shots a game. It's not that bad. It's really not. We actually played solid defense if you think about it. Um, so I think, yeah, I mean, Shilov's, it depends. Like, is that a lot of shots that, went against them in that many games? Like, I can see. Let me see. Oh, shots against. No, no, no. We actually allowed a lot of shots. Never mind. I looked at the wrong category. Saves and shots against. I counted the saves. The saves were solid, but like the the shots against are not great though. Let me just go back. 678 and divided by 82. Yeah, we allowed about 31 and a half shots a game. That's not great. Definitely. It's not bad, but that's how you know we weren't a good team this year. Like the most a goalie allowed in the NHL, I can show you, was Luukkonen, and our goalies combined, went against more shots than that. So, and Luukkonen started 74 games as well, just for perspective. So that's just way too many shots. It's just not good enough. Like he allowed a lot of shots for sure. Don't get me wrong, but still, it's just not acceptable, I would say. And then 904 probably. I mean, yeah, I just think personally Shilovs didn't have the best time of it. He on average was allowing about 24 or 27.4 shots per game, and he still had those numbers. So I don't think I'm crazy there saying that Shilovs didn't have the best year. In terms of wins, so Hellebuck had 42. Save percentage, Olmark had a 921 for Ottawa. I think he's definitely going to be the front runner for that. Nobody's really close. And then defenseman, Doughty, 86 points. Makar, 84. Hughes, 80. Makar has a solid shot, but I think Doughty wins it. I mean, Makar had more goals. We'll see. He had more power play points. He played more. Could be Makar, honestly. But I think based on the points, at least they'll give it to Doughty. The plus minus is close enough. Although again, the underlying stats are better for Makar, so I'm actually gonna go with Makar because not only that's who I think the best defenseman is, but that's who I think is gonna win it. So McDavid and Draisaitl, that was realistic. Nylander, Crosby, Matthews, I mean that was the entire first line, so made sense that they went off. Don't look at the +4 only for Crosby. Look at the fact that he had a -21 in Pittsburgh and had a +25 in Toronto. It just goes to show you. Ovi up there. We would have been definitely a better team. Probably would have won 10 more games if we had Crosby, Malkin still, and Letang, but it just wasn't worth keeping them around, I don't think. We might as well just. It's tough. It's going to be definitely tough, some tough periods ahead, but I think we can find our players that are going to be playing for us. That's for sure. So, let's see. Goalies. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, that's who also wanted to check out. So it was rookie goalies and rookie skaters. So we're gonna go with rookie goalies first. Anybody had a decent year? Yeah, Ascroft, 919 save percentage in 35 games. I don't think that's gonna get him in the consideration though for the Calder. Demidov has to win it, 57 points in 79 games. Like I would just be honestly disappointed if he didn't win that. I do think though the second best rookie was Askarov. Um, now, let me see who made it in the Atlantic. Montreal, yeah, Montreal missed the playoffs with Malkin and Letang. That's actually pretty crazy. You had Florida that made it, Ottawa, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, but honestly not great though. Metropolitan, outside of maybe Washington and the way the Islanders are doing in real life. I mean, even the Flyers and the Penguins. Like it's a really solid division right now. It really is. Columbus and the Rangers are like the two worst teams in that division right now. Um, Not that I didn't see it coming, but I can see why the Rangers and the Blue Jackets right now are the two worst teams in that division. Um, the Metro. Wait, we just looked at it. Let's take a look at the Atlantic. The Atlantic, I mean, those are the four teams that like you would expect to make the playoffs. Montreal, though, probably should have been in there. Not surprising that like Boston and Buffalo didn't make it, but Detroit just bottoming out like that is definitely not super realistic. Pacific, Edmonton, Vegas, Seattle, LA. I mean, that's fine. Vancouver missing, that's fine. San Jose having that kind of year is actually realistic, and Calgary, I think, is also realistic. Anaheim was probably the most unrealistic one, but it's not even like they had a bad year. They just they scored goals. They just couldn't keep the puck out of the net. So that's just the style more than anything. Like the special teams, their power play was horrible, but if you look at it, like a better away record, a better power play, and that's a playoff team. So they just they didn't have the best special teams, but that's not Quenneville. So I don't think that was necessarily his issue there. The Central Division, Colorado, Winnipeg, Utah, Dallas. I mean, I could see it. Minnesota, I mean, it's not like they missed by a lot, so it's whatever. St. Louis is realistic for real life. Same for Nashville. Chicago is unrealistic though, because they are better than Nashville and St. Louis right now. But I can see St. Louis finishing with a stat line like that by the end of the year, because they've really had a slow start to the year this year. And yeah, we'll take a look at the playoff tree as the last thing, and then that's where we're going to cut the video. So, Winnipeg against Utah, it's an interesting round one. Dallas and Colorado, the rematch of the first round from last year. Of course, Rantanen going up against his old team again. Seattle versus Vegas, I think a lot of people would enjoy that first round matchup. Edmonton versus LA. Again, I think that's like 5 straight years now that they meet in the first round. Carolina, New Jersey, that's the third straight year they meet each other in the first round. Ottawa, Tampa Bay is actually a really good series. I would love to see that in real life. Um, Tampa Bay or Toronto and Columbus, that's back from the bubble in 2020. Based on how both teams are playing in real life, I think that's like at least a 6 game series. Like I think Toronto like ideally should win that series in 6 games, even based on how they're playing in real life. But you just never know. Um, the Rangers against Florida. Florida, the defending champs. We'll see if they can do it. They faced off against the Rangers 2 years ago in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we'll see if they can beat them this time around. They are on their way there. They're closer than the Rangers at this point. They just have to get 3 more wins. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna cut the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video on those social platforms if you haven't already. And I'll be back for episode 3 probably whenever I get to that recording. I'm not sure if it's going to be as of this moment that the video is going to post, because I want this to post by either today or tomorrow. We'll see. But either way, though, so far it's been, I would say, a fun series. It definitely sucks not winning, but what are you going to do? We're starting off with a full-on rebuild with this team, so I didn't expect a bright year in year one. So with all that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take it easy and peace.